Hello, and welcome to Christ Lutheran Church's video looking at the third commandment. The third commandment has to do with time. And of course that's important because we all have to deal with time. We have to make decisions about how we're going to use our time. And the thing about being human is that we don't have a lot of time. In fact, in the Bible, in Psalm 90, it says this: "Our days may come to 70 years or 80, if our strength endures. Yet the best of them are but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass away." We don't have as much time on earth as we maybe would have wanted. Life feels short because we don't have a lot of time. The other reason why it's important to look at the third commandment about time is because there's all sorts of things for us to do. We all have these big long lists of what we want to get done, and it can feel hard to organize all of that and to feel like we are getting done what we should get done. There's just so much on our plates to get done in a small amount of time. Now, in the third commandment, God is not going to tell you exactly how to use your time in every instance, but we are going to get an amazing insight in general about how to use our time. Because here's what the third commandment says: "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy." All right, that involves some words that maybe we don't understand or we're not sure what all they mean. Let's put it into context. This actually comes up in Exodus 20 when God first gave the 10 Commandments. Here's what it says: "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son or daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor your animals, nor any foreigner residing in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, but he rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and made it holy." So God rested on the seventh day of creation, and God wants us to treat a seventh day the same way, with rest. Let's actually look at, real quick, at when God made the world. So at the beginning of Genesis chapter 2, at the end of the creation account, it says this: "Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done." We are given this amazing detail that on the seventh day, God, rested. Rest was important to God with the work that he had done. And it's important for us as well that we have rest, because we have a lot that we need to get done, and we could push ourselves to the limit, and we could forget that we need to rest, to take time not to work so hard, and to think that we need to be the ones to get everything done. And that's why God gives us this third commandment. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. You keep it as a special, sacred, special day by resting on the Sabbath. So what does it mean to rest? Well, God spent 6 days making the world, and on the seventh day, he no longer created. He did something different than he had been doing on the first 6 days of creation. Now, think about it in your life. Do you remember that kid in the neighborhood who would say something really annoying? He would make some claim, but it was a lie, and he would say opposite day, as though saying opposite day allowed him to have said whatever he wanted. He could have said a total lie because it's opposite day. Well, as annoying as that is, I do want to use that as an illustration here. The Sabbath is opposite day. It's the day when you do the opposite of what you would normally do, because God wants you to take a break from what you normally do. So, if you are working for 6 days really hard, on the seventh day, God doesn't want you to work at all. or if for 6 days you are really concerned about what other people think about you, on the 7th day, God wants you not to think about that at all. What do you normally do? Then think of its opposite, and on the Sabbath, do that. Do what you don't normally do. But there's something to keep in mind as we strive to rest, to do what we do not normally do. Here's a couple passages. First, Psalm 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. So God has been telling us about how great and glorious he is by what we see out in nature, the stuff that God created. But we usually miss it. We usually fail to see God's glory, even though it's right in front of us. Another passage, 1 Timothy 6, verse 17, the last part of it. Put your hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. We spend so much of our time not thinking enough about God, not putting our hope in God, not enjoying the things that God has given to us, enjoying them as gifts from God. So on the Sabbath, every once in a while, take some time to enjoy God. You can do this at church as we open the Word and actually focus on the God who has been helping us every day. We just have failed to think about it. So how to apply this? Pick your opposite day. What is it for you that is going to let you do the things you haven't been able to do most of the time? And is that maybe worshiping God and reading his word? Because we often forget to do that. Take time to do what you don't normally get to do, because God wants you to enjoy what he has given. All right, here's your home activity then. Hopefully this will drive things home and bring it all together for you. Please read Luke 10, verses 38 through 42. It involves these three people, Jesus and two friends of his named Mary and Martha, and Mary and Martha are sister to one another. And then after you read those 5 verses, then you answer this question. How did Mary show that she wanted to Sabbath, that she wanted to rest? All right, that's all for this time. See you next time.